Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome to the Kathy J Show. I am Kathy J. I love you. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Thanks for hanging out with me this half hour. Shout out to all of you out there who have been staying connected with me on social media. I'm sorry I don't do the posts as much as I want, but sometimes this leg really gets in my way, and it just doesn't, I just can't focus for a long time because of the pain, but I love you guys, and I'm here for you, and I appreciate all the messages. You can always get caught up with anything at kathyjshow.com, okay? So today, speaking of getting through the pain and what you got to do to survive, we're going to talk about determination. That is the key to whatever you are doing in life. It's your determination. When you're going through a hard time, you got to dig down deep. You got to find the strength. You can do this, Kathy. You can do this. And then you got to reach that goal, everybody. And my guest today knows all about it, okay? After a freak accident that happened back in 2014, he was paralyzed from the shoulders down, classified as a quadriplegic. But hard work and determination, this is like his middle names, everybody. They helped him get back on his feet, literally. Please welcome to the show, Sherown Campbell. Yay, Sherown! Okay, I'm so excited you're here. This is like a full circle moment for a few reasons. Also, one, mainly because Sherown is walking. Yay, yay.
Yes.
Like you walked up, got up here on the couch. But the second thing is, I've been following Sherown on Instagram for years, and I told him about 5 or 6 years ago, you're an inspiration, and I'm going to have a TV show one day, and you're going to be on my show. And you remembered that I told you that.
And you kept your word.
And I kept my word. You were one of the reasons when I built this show. I was like, stories like Sherown's need to be out there, because you're amazing. You are amazing. You've taught yourself how to walk again. You've given movement back to body parts that the doctor said you'd never feel again. It's
with
amazing.
A lot of help.
I know, a lot of help. We'll get into your story. Let's talk really fast, though, about your son. Your 9-year-old son and I have something in common right now.
Yes, the hurt ankle gang.
Oh, we are. He fractured his leg. What was he doing?
Running outside and jumping at recess. I think he was just excited to hit the playground and ran and jumped and landed wrong.
So he's wearing, can he walk on it yet? Because I can't walk on mine yet.
No, he's on a non-weight bearing cast right now.
Yeah, so he's going to school. He's toughing it out.
Yeah, he's rocking my old wheelchair and in and out of the office and using crutches in the snow and ice, and so we're crutch brothers.
That's awesome. So you're crutch brothers. And this is what's so cute is, because I was like, well, I have a scooter that I get around on. And he said, no, my son used to always play in my old wheelchair. So he kind of is already familiar with it.
Yeah, I have my wheelchair in the garage, so when I'm working out or doing stuff in the garage, he's in and out of it and treats it like a toy.
I love it. And he's popping wheelies in it. All right, yeah. You also have a beautiful little girl.
Yes.
Okay, what is her name?
Sydney.
Oh, she's adorable. How old is Sydney?
Sydney is 11.
She's 11 now. Oh my gosh. So they're part of the two that have been helping you with your recovery. Not that much, because you've let them be kids. I've seen you with a lot of adults around you, but
yeah, they add a lot of motivation for me. My daughter especially, she's the tough, strong one, and my communication buddy through all this. And they ask that I refer to them as genius because they have straight A's in school right now, captain of the soccer team, doing an absolute great job. So, I mean, my kids have made it so easy for me.
They're amazing, but it's because they see a good role model around them. What were you doing before the accident? You were a pretty athletic dude.
Yeah, I ran track here in Colorado.
Jeez, I'm crow. Is that you?
Yeah.
How much weight is that?
475.
Dang. Okay, so you were always active.
Yeah, I ran track for CSU and had the school record at Northern Colorado for 10 years until not too long ago. So running track, and then I cheered for a couple years. So athletics was always fun. And then after running track and cheer, got into CrossFit.
Oh no, you can
hiking.
tell. That's a body that definitely was working out, not eating carbs. Yeah. So when we come back, everybody, we will get into the accident and what happened right after the break. The Colorado Lottery is an official partner of the Kathy J Show. Colorado Lottery, play on. Welcome back to the Kathy J Show, everybody. I am hanging out here with Sherown Campbell. Yay! The definition of determination, everybody. Okay, so let's get into it. Let's talk about your accident. What happened?
Oh, I was visiting some friends in San Diego. I had just completed my master's in software engineering, so went there to celebrate.
That's amazing. Okay, yes.
Went there to celebrate, was wrestling around with a friend, and he had me in a leg lock between his legs and was trying to get me to tap out. Me being stubborn and hard-headed, was just yanking my head out. He kept squeezing, I kept pulling, and neck broke.
You're kidding.
No,
it was just wrestling. It was like stupid testosterone male wrestling is what you're saying caused this. So
exactly.
So more or less you were it just pulled the wrong way and finally snapped, and then you just what happened? Do you remember? Did you black out?
My body just went completely limp.
Okay.
I used to do jiu-jitsu, so I remember thinking like he's not on an artery, like I'm not blacked out, but I'm sure my friends are gonna, say he's out or someone's gonna break it up, and sure enough, they're like, oh, he's out, he's passed out, stop. And I couldn't tap, and I couldn't move, and I couldn't talk because I lost my lungs when I got paralyzed, and so had to just lay there and wait for someone to break it up and roll me over. And
then your eyes were moving, but you couldn't.
Eyes were moving. I was trying to mouth stuff to them. They couldn't really hear me, so I was kind of gasping, and then they called 911 and.
Oh my! And didn't move you, obviously. When you found out, when you're in the hospital and they tell you you're paralyzed, you're quadriplegic, what's going through your head?
Well, they kept it from me for a good couple of weeks.
Did they? Weeks?
Yeah.
Because they kept hoping maybe it'd come back? Why would they?
Well, I was just drugged and medicated, and I was at a hospital in San Diego, so it wasn't until I got to a hospital here in Colorado called Craig Hospital that specializes in spinal cord injuries, and they were the ones that told me you're a quadriplegic, and I was like, oh, that.
Like say right, those are not the words you ever expect to hear.
Yeah.
And so like your friend and obviously he felt horrible and stuff. Was there an issue there that you had to deal with? No,
I still chat to him on and off, and there's no hard feelings. We all roughhouse with our friends and stuff.
I know, but that's just something. So you with your recovery, you're at Craig Hospital, and I got to give a shout out to Craig Hospital. Like they really have done amazing things. We have our other friend Stuart Tucker Lundy goes there, and just so many amazing things they've done with spinal injuries. And so tell me, you're laying there. What are they saying your recovery is going to be? Because you didn't accept what they said the recovery was.
Well, there wasn't a lot of hopes for a big recovery at first. It was just trying to teach family how to care for you, because when you go home, you're fully dependent, whether it's feeding yourself, dressing yourself, going to the bathroom. So it was a lot more education than it was trying to figure out recovery at that point.
Because that's the last thing probably they're thinking is this guy's going to walk again. They're just thinking now you have to figure out how to give him the best possible life possible.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. So that was a lot of. You were married at the time.
Yes.
And you had 2 little babies.
Yes.
Yeah.
They were 1 and 3 at the time. So.
Oh my goodness. And so, I feel like a burden with this.
Yeah.
What did your brain go through?
Kind of that same type of feeling. Like you do feel kind of burdensome at some point because you have people caring for you almost 24/7. Couldn't be left alone for more than 15 minutes. People have to move you at night so you don't get pressure sores, feed you, dress you. And so the best thing that I could do is try to keep a good attitude to start with to make it easier on everyone else around me.
Right, yes, that's all. Right, start with the attitude. That's the perfect place because that's all you could control. All right, everybody, when we come back, we're going to learn how he got to where he is today. We'll be right back. Kathy J. Oakwood Homes is an official partner of the Kathy J. Show. Oakwood Homes, building happiness. Welcome back to the Kathy J. Show, everybody. So we just heard from my guest, Sherown Campbell, about how his accident happened. But before he got hurt, everybody, there was another pain that he experienced that really kind of prepped you for this kind of pain. What was it?
We had lost my younger sister probably about 5 months before my injury.
Okay. To suicide.
Yeah, she had dealt with depression growing up on and off, and then ultimately led to suicide in May of 2013.
What a beautiful soul. Like, you just see her smiling. Her smiling is as bright as your smile.
Yeah, that was the hard part because she was such a bright light, and to try to figure out what she was going through to get to that point was really tough and hard.
So do you think living through the pain of losing her made you realize, I mean, how did it help you with your recovery? Because to me, I would think it's two different pains that you got to fight through.
Yeah, losing her was so much worse than anything that I dealt with myself. But
wow,
trying to put myself in her shoes, trying to understand what was going on. I mean, losing a loved one and family member is always tough, but especially like with depression and suicide, you want to understand why. I couldn't put myself in those shoes because I haven't had to struggle with something like that. And she was always so energetic and so bright that if I was ever in that situation, I was like, I'm going to have to ask for help. I'm going to have to figure out, what to do because I don't want to be in those shoes.
Right.
And I mean, you just go through all those thoughts, like, what if I was feeling that way? What would I do? And so I got tested.
Yeah, okay.
Like
tested like for depression or tested for?
No, just tested with something really tough with being paralyzed.
Oh, tested with that kind of test. I was like, there's a test out there? What is it? Sorry, you meant tested with being paralyzed. Right, because a lot of people, I think, would have serious suicidal thoughts.
Yeah, and I tried to draw a difference between the two, between mental health illness that I knew she struggled with for years, and then being down and depressed for something that you're actually going through. I mean, we should be allowed to grieve, and we should be allowed to hurt. And I mean, if you're paralyzed, you're probably going to go through depression, and that's just a normal part of the process. So
yeah, I would think it would be just a double whammy, like a 1-2 hit. The fact that you got strength from the first one is just amazing. What was her name?
Jakaya.
Jakaya. What was one of your favorite things about Jakaya?
Just an absolute goofball.
Oh, I love that.
So much energy and so happy.
I asked him about the doodles on his arm, and these were all doodles from her book. What was the one you had? This was a bunch of places going, what is it, misdirection?
So her notebook in college, I went through all of her notes and doodles and got them tattooed, but this specific one was a lot of arrows and kind of lost a misdirection, but in the middle of it said help. And
I love that.
I was like, it meant enough to me to get it tattooed then, and then later on it served a greater purpose for me, making sure that I learned how to ask for help. And
isn't that crazy? It's almost like she was stronger. I hate to say that, but she was stronger to help you once she had moved on. Almost like the force got stronger.
Yeah.
Yes, I quoted Star Wars, but like Obi-Wan got stronger and helped Luke better. Like, I mean, here she was on your arms, helping you go through the most traumatic thing in the world, reminding you every day to find the help.
Yeah, and fighting through that type of grief and hard times and stuff. I mean, then I was prepared for my own struggles and challenges.
And you also went through a divorce with the little kids. You have a happy divorce right now, where we're 50-50 with the kids, but I think that's also something to be commended, because a lot of people have so many excuses why they won't do the divorce, and I'm like, what's your excuse now, everybody? If it's not right, it's not right. You have to do things that make you happy and healthy.
Yeah, and I mean, divorce isn't exciing for anyone. I haven't heard anyone that's like,
yay!
Yes,
well, no, I take it back. I have some women that are happy they got the divorce.
That could be true,
right,
too.
That could be true.
But yeah, going through a divorce, and especially in this situation, I was just fighting to be independent at that point. And then, now you have a 3-year-old and a 5-year-old to take care of on top of just figuring out this whole situation. So, double hard financially, and I do everything a little bit slower than the average person. So with 2 kids going at full speed,
I can't imagine.
Made me buckle down and figure things out and get it done.
You communicate a lot with your kids. Is that what you say? Because you have to warn them, like, this isn't going to go fast. We're going slow out the door today. We're going to, right? I mean, it's just a different speed when you're with Dad. Yeah,
it's a high level of communication. So they listen excellent. And I mean, I probably talk and explain things to them more than they want to.
Right.
But it's all for a good reason. So, I mean, if there's fires, if something happened, my son crashed his bike at the park, I was like, if it's an emergency, ask for help. If it's not, you have to try to walk back. You can't lay there crying because I'm not sprinting across the park.
Right. Things like that they totally have to know about. But obviously seeing them gave you the reason to continue to fight. How long was it before you were like, I think I can try to fight this, like literally fight this, I can recover? How long was that?
Not really at any point in time. I just was trying to constantly make the best of the situation I was in.
Okay.
And so as things progressed, then, you know, I'd set more goals and more goals and more goals. But I've seen so many people, and I know people that have been paralyzed their whole lives, where I didn't want to be arrogant, like, oh, I'm going to do this and beat the odds. It was like, no, this is real, and I have to kind of, you know, give it the credit that it's due. And
when I would follow you, there would be days that just moving your foot was the goal for the day, and you did it. And then the next day would be moving it 2 feet. You know, like, I mean, you have to have a lot of patience to do what you've done. Was any of this surgery that helped nerves come back, or this is all just you moving your body again?
I did therapy, acupuncture, massage, tried any and everything, and a lot of it is really helpful. But the thing that was probably most helpful was just high repetitive movement, like trying over and over and over again. And each day, if something was working, then I'd try to add on to it. If I could get in and out of a car once, the next day I'd try 2 or 3 times until it got easier and became part of my regular routine.
Okay, all right. When we come back, everybody, I have some final questions, and he has some final thoughts for all of you. We'll be right back. Ramos Law is an official partner of the Kathy J Show. He's a medical doctor and a lawyer. Ramos Law, what makes us different makes us better. Welcome back to the Kathy J Show, everybody. So the past half hour, we've been hanging out with Sherown Campbell. Thank you so much for being here with us this half hour. You're everything and more of what I knew you'd be. Like, you are just, your determination, your strength, it's just so inspiring. It's the reason why I was like, if Sherown can get in, and I can get in, like, we can do this together. And obviously your kids feel that strength from you. Everyone else around you feels that strength from you. I have to ask, so right now, so can you feel, like, what can you feel when I touch you?
I can feel pressure pretty good. Touch sensations. Hot and cold is a little spotty, so I can only feel it in some places, but otherwise you could rub ice and
you can
it
do
doesn't
all that.
bother me at all.
That's amazing.
Sharp and dull's kind of spotty.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. He said if he cuts himself, he has to be very careful because you might not know you cut yourself.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So what's the difference? You were saying there's a huge difference between hope and being realistic.
Yes.
What is that?
Because you have to have some type of hope or belief to keep pushing the way that I do with some of this. So I mean, I hope things get better. I believe that things will get better. You know, I believe in the work and effort that I put in, you know, will pay off at some point. But you also have to be realistic too, so I don't throw out any kind of crazy goals. Like I'm not going to sign up for the Colfax Marathon or anything this year.
Right. We were wondering that. And there's been so many amazing people out there that have helped you get to where you are. And we just want to say thank you to everybody at Craig Hospital and your family and friends that have been helping you along the way. Because like you said, it hasn't just been yourself. You needed people to help you. Yeah,
Craig has been a huge part of it. Chanaplan Foundation, where I've gotten massage and acupuncture for years, has been great. My physical therapist, Mary.
It's amazing.
So many people.
So many.
Of course, my mom. My mom is...
Hi, Mom.
Great.
And your beautiful girlfriend, Melinda.
Yes.
He got a queen, everybody. She's from Queens. I love it. And she's a queen.
Yes.
This is Black History Month, so I wanted to ask you before we left, what does Black History Month mean to you? And here you are proving that you are the strength.
Yeah, I mean, it's a huge thing for me for obvious reasons. It's, you know, my culture and my family history, but it's a part of American and U.S. history and stuff too. So I'm big on cultures, and you know, it's something that I want to raise my kids to understand and respect people. And I think there's so much kind of misunderstanding going on with different things today. Like, when you actually learn and take time to understand another culture or a person or their background is when you actually connect with people. And so Black History Month's a big thing. Absolutely, to remember that we're all closer than we realize. Yeah, for sure. What would you like to tell everybody? Because if you're just tuning in, Sherown was a quadriplegic, and he now walks. He got up. Did you drive here today? No, I didn't drive today. But you do drive? Yes. That's awesome. But Melinda drove. That's probably best. Mel? Good. I'm glad. But you drive, so you can overcome anything is my point. What would you like everybody to know? probably first and foremost be grateful for what you have.
Amen.
I think sometimes we face traumas or challenges, and it shouldn't take that to appreciate what you have good in your life already. The other thing was just being, determined and dedicated to what you're doing, like have that belief and care for stuff that you believe in, or your goals that you're setting, or if you're going through something, to stay the course, and then first and foremost be patient with other people and patient with yourself.
Yes. So when you wake up every day, do you have a mantra? Do you say something? Do you just get through it? What is your day?
No, I get up at like 4 or 5 a.m. and try to work out when I'm still brain dead. So.
Okay, that works too. All right. Well, Sherown Campbell, everybody, you can please follow him on his Instagram. I do too. His handle is Sherown.Campbell. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Mel, for bringing him. You can go to KathyJShow.com for more of the show.